Podcast. 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 Yeah, welcome to another episode of the Racer X Exhaust Podcast. Actually churning out two today. Rang up Alex Ray. I highly recommend you listen to that. I know you've dialed in this one because it's Ryan Villopoto, and that's a big name. And these days, RV does fantastic, uncensored, unfiltered interviews. And this one is. However, Alex Ray is hilarious. So I recommend you listen to both shows. I'm trying to give you things to do during this break when otherwise you're going to have to hang out with family. And honestly, wouldn't you rather listen to people talk about moto than that? Or maybe you're not allowed to hang out with family this year. I don't know. I'm not getting into that. I'm sure today's guest would have an opinion on that, but I'm not going down that road. Yes, today's guest is Ryan Villopoto. This is the Exhaust Podcast. I'm Jason Weigandt. This is brought to you by Yoshimura, yoshimura-rd.com. And go there and you can see the RS12 exhaust system. New editions of that coming out all the time. Really, really, really high tech the way they developed this thing in stride with Honda for the all-new 2021 CRF 450R. And there's a whole series of videos about all the work they went into, where the resonator goes, and how they had to tune the header pipe to work with the oval exhaust port coming out of the cylinder head, and then into a round header pipe eventually. They've also got one now for the Kawasaki KX450, and big power gains, as well as the 500 and 501 KTM and Husqvarna Dual Sports YZ250F, Suzuki RMZ 250 and 450, all available with the Yoshimura RS12 exhaust system. Also, this show brought to you by MX Tech, professional aftermarket suspension for riders who want excellent comfort and control. Their quality engineering is based on a lifetime of specializing in dirt bike suspension. They've developed a Lucky Fork, dual springs, dual cartridges, Huck valves, and ultra lightweight. MX Tech utilizes the latest in technology and coatings to deliver maximum performance while remaining the lightest shock available. Head over to mx-tech.com for more information. Yes, Ryan Villopoto on this episode of the show. Another one of Rob Vitus' crazy events coming up on December the 5th. So wait, let me see how that works in the calendar. That's not this weekend. It's the next weekend. And they're going to have a big pit bike race called Monster Energy Master of the Pit. It's a pay-per-view event you can watch on fight.tv. We'll have a link right on the Racer X Online site if you want to get it. This whole thing of the pay-per-view Fight Club started with Moto Fight Club. You remember back in May, I think it was, when Villopoto and Travis Pastrana and Kevin Windham and Mike Alessi ended up winning it. All these guys, Weimer, Tedesco, Ryan Sipes, they were all there. A great group of retired guys. Brock Glover, that was awesome. Damon Bradshaw, was awesome. And they really went at it. They really battled. And that was in the dregs of coronavirus, where there wasn't any type of racing going on. And we really couldn't even believe this thing was allowed to happen, to the point where they wouldn't even tell us where the race was taking place. Undisclosed location. Only race ever where no one ever said where the race was taking place. But it was super fun. It was really cool just to see Windham whip and scrub and battle with Pastrana. That was probably worth it right there. Mike Alessi taking it a little more seriously than others was kind of funny in its own right, and he did win. Either way, it's a great event. So Rocket Rob Vitus, the founder of this, more ideas coming. They had a flat track fight club. They had a FMX Fight Club. This is what you could call the Pit Bike Fight Club. Monster Energy Master of the Pit, Ryan Villopoto headlining that. So we will ask Ryan Villopoto about that event. But more importantly, we're going to ask Ryan Villopoto about the thing we always talk about with Ryan Villopoto. When did he change? Look, dude, I was around for almost all of Ryan Villopoto's pro races, and it was fine most of the time. But toward the end, like 2014, the dude was miserable. And me, as a enterprising storyteller / journalist, I remember in 2014 in Houston, late in the year, I was like, man, it doesn't even seem like Villopoto even likes this. How is he able to go out and beat the best riders in the world at Supercross? And he was beating them pretty handily. By 2014, it was kind of ridiculous. It was like, we all knew he was going to win the title. It was a foregone conclusion pretty much all season long. And then he just continues to win races, and he is miserable. So I was really intrigued by that. He kept getting grumpier and grumpier as these titles went on, and I finally am like, I'm going to interview Ryan, and I'm going to ask, Where does his motivation come from? How is he able to do this when he doesn't even seem to like what he's doing? He doesn't even seem to be thrilled by winning. So I tried to have this interview with him in Houston, and he couldn't answer it. He didn't have an answer. I'm like, what about this do you like? What about this motivates you? What about this, keeps you going? And he didn't really have any answers at that point. There was nothing that he could find, I think, that he liked about what he was doing. He was so good at that point that just showing up and going through the motions, everything was muscle memory. He just knew how to get it done. He didn't need this extra passion and fire to win at the very highest level, which was so intriguing. However, even he was able to recognize it probably didn't seem good, that he wasn't even happy about winning races at the highest level. So in typical Ryan Villopoto fashion, I said to him, dude, this is not going anywhere. This interview's not working. And he just says to me, yeah, do whatever you want, but just don't make me look like an asshole, okay? And I'm like, yeah, no one wants to hear this. No one wants to hear that you're bummed and not even pumped and you're still winning. Because I think there was getting to be some backlash. Fans don't like seeing that the guy that wins the Supercross championship isn't even happy about winning. You're supposed to be elated. But such was the pressure of winning 4 in a row, and that pressure got to him. And then I think we all confused his personality at that time with his actual personality. 4-time champ dealing with the pressure of all that Ryan Villopoto was not the normal Ryan Villopoto. I can tell you back then, behind the scenes, the dude was hilarious. He messed with people. He was real fun. He was lighthearted. He couldn't do it in front of the cameras. It was too hard to manage all that. But that personality was there. Then it finally went away when the pressure really mounted. And now what we're seeing post-racing Villopoto is awesome. It's hilarious. He's unfiltered. He's super relaxed. He's really become one of the best personalities in the sport. So that's what we're going to talk about, obviously, in this interview, because it's always the topic that comes up. And then we'll talk a little bit of Monster Energy Master of the Pit coming December 5th. Check out the link on RacerX Online and watch it. Should be fun holiday viewing. Guys taking each other out on mini bikes, or you have a chance to do the taking outing, because this is a rare event where you can race Villopoto and all-time mini bike gods Carson Brown and Willie Browning. There will be 4 classes, and the top riders from those 4 classes will get to race in the night show in the main events on identically prepared Yamaha TTR 110s against Villopoto, Browning, and Brown. That's right. You can literally earn your way in, which should be exciting enough. It's going to be like an LCQ on steroids, because people can take people out on mini bikes to earn your way into the 3 main event format at night against Villopoto and crew. That's a pretty rare opportunity. So if you're fast and you can get yourself to Switchback MX in Pennsylvania by next weekend, show up on Friday, sign up, go for it. Get a pit bike. Pretty cool. All right, here's Ryan, who, by the way, in typical Ryan Villopoto fashion, I call and he's like dealing with his kids. So you'll hear occasional dad work going on during this interview, which to me just adds to the hilarity. Dude, I don't know what it's like when your kids are older, but I know you were flexing a bit, like in their very youngest days, being like, oh yeah, 2 kids, diaper changes, feeding them, the whole 9. You do it.
Oh. Yeah, all of it. I still do all of it.
Are you moto dad now?
I mean, we did 1 race, yeah. I mean,
it's not.
I wouldn't call it moto dad, but yeah.
Okay, so you're not taking them to the track all the time.
If they want to go, yeah. If they want to go, let's go.
But it's not like a 5-day a week we're going to the track and doing lap times.
No. Yeah, lap times.
No lap times.
No.
Okay. Is that in the future? Do you even see that coming?
If they want to, yeah, I'll get the stopwatch out.
Okay, all right, but they're not asking for it, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah, they're not.
No, I mean, not right now, really.
Okay, how old are these kids now?
They're 4.
Yeah, it's really hard to say at 4. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, the one kid didn't even want to race, and I tricked him into racing. I told him it was practice, and then he, why we were behind the Guinness is practice, and then yeah.
Wait, is this the Stasic thing, or is this something else?
No, the PW race.
Oh, a PW race. Okay, you tricked him.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And then he was excited afterwards.
There you go. You might have opened the door there. God. Yep. What is daily life like for you? Or does it change every single day? Like, can you even pin it down?
I've been flying a little bit, but mainly it's just like the kid stuff, you know?
It's
not a lot. I'm in at pro circuit once, here and there, and I don't know, a little riding here and there, but
flying.
Random.
What are you talking about flying?
Yeah, been flying a small plane,
Oh, really?
Like a private. Yeah.
Oh, you went through the whole license thing, or are you battling and are you doing all that, like working on the license?
No, I'm doing it now. I'm doing it now.
Wow.
We'll see if I stick with it. The bookwork's killing me.
Yeah,
the bookwork's killing me.
I don't know if that's I don't know if the bookwork's a real specialty here.
It's a problem when you never went through 5th grade.
That's what I'm saying. All right, welcome back. Welcome back to school.
Sucks.
All right, we're going to talk about the Master of the Pit, and then we'll talk about some other crap. How's that sound?
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I could have texted you questions. I could have made this a 5-minute thing, but you want to rap. You want to talk.
Yeah, well, that's way harder, because then you're going to get the misspelling, and then you're like, what are you talking about? Chinese? And then I'm like, okay, sorry. Just wait over the phone.
So I can see how well the bookwork for the plane stuff must be going then.
Yeah. I mean, even spell check sometimes gets away from me.
All right, don't worry. That's what I'm here for. We'll help you out.
Okay.
You got more skills than I do. I can only do one thing. Okay, so another one of these crazy things. Can you just first explain your relationship with Rob Vitus, who I don't know how many, like all of us behind the scenes, Rob's like legend. I don't know if the fans know him as well. You've probably been doing crazy schemes and fun stuff behind the scenes and in front with Rob for a long time now. This is not just Moto Fight Club. It's just like another Rob thing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, with being part of Parts Unlimited for so many years,
yep.
Rob was obviously he's like kind of, I don't want to say the face of Parts Unlimited, but anytime you say there's a Parts Unlimited dinner, yep. Rob's there. He's emceeing it. If there's a Parts Unlimited show, he's there. He's, you know what I mean? So no matter where you go, you will see Rob, So
yep. There you go.
Oh, sick. All right. So anytime you have to do anything with Rob or Parts Unlimited, obviously for me, because I was with him for so many years,
yeah.
You'd be dealing with Rob. So we've, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 years, 15 years, even before that. It's probably almost 15, 16 years
yep.
that I've dealt with Rob, So, so it's been a long time dealing with each other. It's always been just a fun person to be around. And then obviously retirement happened, whatever, stopped racing. And then all of a sudden COVID was a bullshit story that everybody's heard about this, for the last year, basically. Racing stops. And then he comes up with this idea about getting all of us together and doing this underground race. And that's kind of what started, the whole thing.
I remember you showing up at High Point on a KX250. That was kind of a you and Rob thing a couple years ago. You were like getting back in the scene.
Yeah. He talked me into that. I stayed at the house, stayed at his house, with him. Actually, motorhomed it with him. There at High Point. So yeah, that was a Rob thing too.
When did you start having this vision? And we'll get into Lucas Myrtle. I think might have had the vision too. This hey, there's some fun stuff that I can do here. Do you remember when that started crystallizing in your mind and hey, there's a lot of stuff I can do besides just racing regular races?
I mean, I think mainly when I moved back from Seattle,
yep,
back to California, was kind of when a lot of things started to change, obviously, I still had some current deals when I was living up here, but it also, after the 2 years of living here, they were pretty much all going away.
Okay.
Because you're exposed, you're hidden up here, basically. No matter what. I think when you're retired and you want to keep things going, I think you kind of need to live in, wherever that home base is in our sport was obviously Southern California. So when I moved back to Southern California, that's when Answer, Yamaha, all those things came about. So definitely, made a difference moving back here.
You moved back. Did you find yourself missing some of that stuff more than you maybe thought? Because you did choose to leave, and then you chose to come back.
Yeah. So I think that moving back and getting kind of back involved definitely was fun. It definitely made it fun. The 2-year break was good.
Yeah.
I think I needed it.
Yep.
I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can't believe you still riding, or we thought you'd be, away or, not around. And
sure.
And I think a lot of people, kind of thought that, but you just needed a break,
Oh, you were definitely voted most likely to disappear into the woods and never be seen again. Maybe Stu. Maybe Stu is the only one more likely to disappear.
You think over Dunge, huh? No, hey, that's the wrong way. You're going to shoot yourself in the eye. Give me this. No. He's got a staple gun. So,
no, here's the difference. I feel like Dunge is the kind of guy that hates to say no, and he'll do stuff he doesn't even want to do. Even if he didn't want to do it, he would do it. So I figured he'd be around just because he didn't know how to say no.
No? Yeah, I don't know. Like, obviously the whole... No, hey, I'm on the phone doing an interview. Go over there.
I love this.
Yeah, I don't know. I obviously it's the FC thing and all that was kind of a weird thing, transition, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, I think most people thought I was going to do that, but yeah, I'm still in the game.
Did your guy Luke? Are you still with Mertz? You're still at Mertz, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Mertz had this vision, and he's so pumped. Like, I remember when you raced Monster Cup a few years ago, he was so stoked. I think he was even more stoked than you or anybody like Feld or Monster or anybody. Like, this is my vision, like, for guys to do stuff like this. Did he kind of pitch like, hey, let's do more of this, let's do more of that, let's act a certain way, let's be a certain way? Or was that all you, or was that something you guys came up with? Was Rob involved in that?
I will give him some credit, but yes, I think obviously it has to come from both sides. I think getting both, having him involved and piecing together partners and people like that. It's nice to have that, and also another idea guy.
Yeah,
I'm not much of an idea guy, but I think just from I'm not acting any. Okay, don't shoot it. I'm not really acting any different than I normally do. Say if I was out partying, or if I was out doing this, or I was out doing that. Like I'm doing, what you see at Washougal up on the podium, and doing me a beer bong. That is me. I don't know if that's good or bad, but.
Well, I think people love it now. The problem was, I know that was what you were probably like in your racing days, and I would see it sometimes, but the fans just didn't see it. So all you really were doing is just totally being you all the time now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think, and I think that what's even better to the whole game is the boys over at Yamaha. To be honest, the Yamaha thing has been pretty, probably one of the I don't want to use the word best things that's happened to me, but from the standpoint of like a partnership, like the people that I deal with, they're really, all of them are fucking rad. Like they're obviously they're corporate, they're Japanese and they're corporate, the company's Japanese and they're corporate, but when it comes to what I do, they're very relaxed, I feel anyways. And maybe it makes them cringe sometimes, but I feel that either the fans that I've had are either stronger fans now and I've gained probably more. I don't know.
No, I think you have. And here's what you've probably heard 1 million times. How many people have said, dude, why didn't you just act like that when you were winning all the titles? How many times have you heard that?
Yeah, you can't obviously do both. I don't think you can do both. Like you have a Jason Anderson, won a title once, and now I think you have an Eli that I think is way drier than even Dunge, and I wasn't even as dry as Dunge.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do both. I don't think you can do both well. Not our sport. At least not right now.
Yeah, that tip of the spear, that pressure and all that. And honestly, I know people are always like, oh, the teams won't let guys act that way. I'm like, dude, the backlash they get from fans starts it. Like, you don't even get to the team part or the sponsor part. You would get so much heat and backlash before the team even talks to you. Like, fans say they want it, but they don't.
I don't know. I think that they would. I think that they would if it was done the right way. There's just no real way to I don't think, to do it. No, leave it alone. I don't think there's no real good way to do it.
You would have half the fans, I think, really like it, and then half the fans freaking hate it.
And that very well may be true also.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Right.
Don't know.
But the problem is, you can't work through all of that, think of all that, strategize all of that, and also handle the racing part.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
So this is cool. I mean, I would imagine you were not thinking What? So 2014, 2015 is the end. Did you think 5 years later this is the kind of stuff you'd be doing?
No. And to be honest, it's really tough because like you got like straight rhythm. I wasn't going to do this year anyways. Like last year, I wouldn't call it a scare, but like I cased that quad really hard.
Yeah.
Big quad. And
God.
like I had bruised my sternum like for, I not dealt with anything, but I was sore for a month. My sternum was. Yeah. You know, so, and it's all great and everything, and I can go with the best of them. But if you don't do it enough, it ultimately becomes sketchy, you know. So, and I don't like. I know fuck straight rhythm's coming up. Let's ride. Like, literally, dude, I would ride a week before.
Oh,
and you know, and I think that's where we need to like if they do a straight rhythm again or something like that. You need to have a fine line of like how supercrossy is it, you know?
Yeah,
and to keep. Because I think what our sport is absolutely terrible at, is like, what do you do after our sport? You know, like, how do you – I'm not going to get a desk job. I don't need one, nor do I want one, right? So that's another way you can stay how you can stay relevant. But how can you stay relevant as like an actual athlete kind of doing your game like Straight Rhythm or Moto Fight Club or things like that? And I think that's where, you know, the Moto Fight Club thing was really – it's only retired guys. You know, I mean, Mike's kind of on the edge of retire. I think he's retired now.
Yeah.
But even so, the racing was good, right? It wasn't like he ran away with it. Like, it was a good race when I was there.
Yeah, and no one would watch it and be like, what's up with these guys? Like, anyone that, like, you guys clearly can still go fast enough to be entertaining, and you can do jumps, and, you know, it's not like it's boring.
I mean, we could go with some of the best of them, you know, still. Yep. You know, not on a super gnarly track, but an average track. You know, and that's what obviously separates the men from the boys. And that's why when it gets gnarly, I can't go as fast as I used to be because I'm not used to it. I don't do it. I'm not practiced.
Yeah, but what is crazy is that quad. Like, everyone was working that quad. Like, crazy-ass Pastrana was trying to figure it out. And then, you have no need to, but you still tried it.
I think I was actually the first one that actually did it before even Hanny.
I mean, but that's crazy. Like, so that's the thing. You can't just be like, I'm going to go 70%, and if people want a quad, I'll just triple. Like, you still want to do it.
Yeah, so that's the fine line that you have to be, because if not, you'll end up just getting hurt right away.
Hey, we interrupt your regularly scheduled interview with Ryan Villopoto just to throw out a shout to Yoshimura, our title sponsor of the show, Yoshimura-RD.com. Got the RS12 exhaust system. You know, Ryan Villopoto used to go really fast on a KX450. It was actually called the KX450F back then, but I digress. KX450 now, they've got an RS12 all-new exhaust system for it and big power gains. For some reason, the Cowies have this ginormous muffler hanging off the back. Looks and sound alone, the Yosh RS12 probably would be a nice upgrade, but the power gains are massive as well. So go to Yoshimura-RD.com to check out that. And MX Tech, with their Lucky Fork, dual springs, dual cartridges, still very lightweight, using the latest in technology and coatings to deliver maximum performance while remaining the lightest shock available. MX Tech, high-quality, professional aftermarket suspension for riders who want excellent comfort and control. MX-Tech.com for more. And yeah, Ryan Villopoto not doing Straight Rhythm anymore. He's happy on the mini bikes. Yeah.
So I wasn't going to do Straight Rhythm again, you know, so the things that, you know, like we're going to do this, the Master of the Pit, you know, pit bikes have made a huge comeback. Like you can't even buy them on the showrooms right now because it's sold out, which is great, you know. So, but what killed the pit bikes back in the day is obviously $10,000 mini bikes, and I'm friends with Dwayne and Carson, and we're not going to do that. We're just going to do, I call it like a super stock, where it's still a standard swing arm, but obviously aluminum, so it doesn't bend, and you know, like it's not upside down forks. It's not all these crazy stuff. Yes, the bikes are a little bit better, and there's aftermarket parts for them, but ultimately they're stock geometry. So that being said, and then Rob takes it to a whole nother level where we're all riding just like MXON, where we're Motozilli. Yeah. And we tie Yamaha to that also. Motozilli's the shop back there, I think in Ohio, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'll look it up. Yep. Yeah, so he gets all the bikes, and you know, Rob goes out and gets like a pipe and bars and stuff, and we all ride stock or identical bikes, which is like even Mitch said the other day. Peyton was like, "That's the only way to do it.
and that is the only way to do it. And it's also the funnest way to do it because everything's the same. And, now it comes down to, okay, body weight and how clean can you get through the turns. And like there's a whole other factor that comes into it that makes it super fun.
So do you go into this like, look, dude, Carson Brown, I guess has essentially never been beaten in a mini bike race. He's unbelievable. Willie Browning was really good. I remember when Rob was doing these back in the day. I'm sure he's still fast. And then some random guy could show up with a pro license and do well. Are you like, I'm going to win this race, or you don't even know how it's going to stack up? Like, how do you look at that?
I mean, we did the Chicago Moto Fight Club, Chicagoland, for the pit bike race, and once again, all Yamahas, all the same bike, which was awesome. Got actually some of the NASCAR guys involved with that.
Yeah.
Which was cool, But yes, so we're all racers and we want to win. So I would like to try to dice it up with Carson and if not win the overall, like just win a moto or two,
Yes, because I know it's a 3-moto format. It's a Monster Cup, Monster Million format.
And the cool thing is we're getting these people that might have $10,000 mini bikes will qualify down.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, let's see how badass you really are. Now you got to ride this bike, what we ride.
Right.
So it's going to be really, I think it's going to be really fun.
Dude, I used to make the joke back in the day that someone was just going to race a CRF 450 and be like, oh no, it started as an XR50 and I just swapped every single part because that's what they were becoming. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so do you think that there might be some random guy that could show up and like get in the mix and battle you guys?
Oh, 100%. I think, I don't think, I probably know, so there's going to be some good guys for sure. It's not going to be easy.
Right.
But I think what the kicker is going to be is they're going to have to ride a stock TTR, so, and it's all the same. So I think that's where it's going to be like, they're going to have to, unless they go out and find one and buy one and start practicing on it, like coming off of like a mod legit bike, riding the stock ones, it's different. It's like almost riding a 4-stroke versus a 125 versus a 250F, like you got to ride them differently.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So yeah, you ride this all the time. You've got this dialed.
I don't ride it all the time. Now Carson, on the other hand, I haven't rode mine since probably the last time I raced it.
Oh, no kidding.
Like really rode it, like practiced. Now Willie and Carson are practicing, but I still got them.
Okay, you are not practicing.
No.
You're just going to show up.
I'm going to give them the edge.
Okay. All right, that's good. This question I'm asking all three of you, give me your pit bike resume or just your regular resume, whatever. Just sell yourself and tell me why you think you're going to win.
Well, I mean, I don't think either of them put together have the gate time that I have.
There you go.
And in the experience and with upholding the pressure of such a big nostalgic race.
like Master of the Pit, exactly.
Yes, like Master of the Pit, yes.
Okay. And then sell me on this. Why should people watch it? Why should people buy it and watch this?
Well, I mean, look, you guys, you don't have to buy it, but
okay.
I think you should. I think that because riding these stock bikes, and a lot of people didn't necessarily tune into. We had a decent, but tune into the Moto Fight Club, the Chicagoland one. Mm-hmm. But the racing was close every class because of we're riding stock bikes. So that, or all equal bikes is what I should say. All equal bikes,
right? Which
really condenses the racing. So. I just think that, grab a case of beer and you're going to have some, great racing and banging bars for sure. And especially the guys, and you know what, you might have the best racing coming from the qualifying guys to get to race these 10 TCRs because they're the ones that are going for broke because they have to make it in, they have to qualify down. So there's going to be some carnage in that, in the qualifiers.
Yeah. I mean, if the bikes are lower to the ground, a little bit slower, doesn't that lend itself to more, I might as well just take a huge chance and try to take this dude out?
That too, 100%. But even before they even get to that, because they got to ride their own bikes before they get to ride the TTRs.
Yeah.
And they're going to be going for broke to make it into that,
Yeah, it's like an LCQ in a way.
Yeah, so their LCQ / main events are all qualifying them down
to
like the main event, which is the which is all the same TTR 110s.
Yeah, it's like top 3 in each of those classes. So if a dude's in 4th, he's going for it.
100%. Yeah. So I think the racing's going to be intense, Along with, we have a PW class, which will be cool. We actually have a STASIC class and a PW. So it's like, I think it's the Ryan Villopoto STASIC and the Ryan Villopoto PW class, So I might bring the boys, but I doubt it.
Yeah, it's a long way.
But it's a long way. That's the problem. It's a long way with 4-year-olds.
Dude.
Yeah, it's a long way.
Are you driving or are you flying?
No, I'm going to fly.
Yeah, either way, dude. Playing with 4-year-olds.
Sitting on the plane, it's just not that cool.
No. Yeah, my guy's 6. He's got a PW, and Rob wants me to come back. We'll see. It's like 10 hours for me, which is not fun either.
You should race.
Okay, I understand.
You should race the industry class.
I know, and I have a TTR. I have a 110. It doesn't run very well.
Then perfect.
Yeah, but it's even stocker than stock. It's so slow. But your ones with the Pro Circuit pipe and some tires and some bars, you guys can go pretty fast, right?
Most people that actually, see it. Obviously, the guys that see it. We'll ride the wheels off the thing.
Yeah, like it'll be cool to watch. It's fast enough to be fun.
Oh yeah, some of the funnest times and the best racing and the best backyard bashes are all done on Z50s, on XR50s, are done on TTRs and KLXs and in the 110. As soon as you go above the 110, then it's a bigger bike. It's faster. More can happen. So
yeah. When you raced at Chicagoland, was there some of that? Was there contact and takeouts and all that stuff?
Well, Bradshaw and Stanton got into it, and Brownie.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was some of the best racing of the weekend. It wasn't even me and Carson and Willie. Me, Carson, and Willie, we were never that close to be like banging bars, but we were like, Carson would go by, and then all of a sudden, here I come, and then here comes Willie. So it's like 1 second in between type thing. Carson's exiting the turn as I'm entering it. Right there. So one mistake, one lean it over too far and hit neutral, or hit the shifter into third, and then you can't make a jump. Like that's it gets like that.
Yeah, if you don't get out of that corner clean, he's coming for you.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, this should be good, but you like your chances. Could be good.
I love my chances.
Oh, there we go. And that's Ryan Villopoto. He then said he had to go and get a COVID test. He is not happy about that. He already took one to take his hunting trip to Alaska, and now his family's asking him to take another one, and I'm not going to get Villopoto started on his take on coronavirus. It's not going there, so he has to take a COVID test, and he's not pumped. But hopefully he's good, and you should go. It's going to be fun if you're in the Switchback MX area and you're fast and you got a pit bike or you can borrow one. You can go race them, see how it goes against Villopoto and Carson Brown, who, by the way, has apparently never lost a mini bike race. I knew Carson Brown was super fast on mini bikes. There was this underground current of Carson Brown fans. Now, Carson does race Supercross. He makes main events in the 250 class in the West, but there are super fans of Carson Brown. It's like fans within the fans, and a lot of that comes from his speed on mini bikes. But I wasn't even smart enough to know that BBR, this legendary brand of hopped up, super modified, awesome mini bikes, I didn't know that Carson Brown is the son of the guy who is BBR. I didn't know that. So Carson is testing these bikes all the time. That's why he's so fast. So he would be the favorite on paper, but you can see that RV likes his chances. Or if you're a pro, going up there and get it could be really fun. We'll have a link on the RacerX site. We'll also have a link, of course, if you want to subscribe to the magazine. It's a special time of year because the calendar's coming out. Yeah, the calendar for 2021. Yes, we decided to do a 2021 calendar. Maybe someday it'd be fun if we did a calendar for a completely different year than the one that's coming up. Wouldn't that be cool? Like, we've been doing this calendar for 20 years. We should just bring the 2003 calendar back 1 year for 2023. Just confuse people. My buddy Tim, by the way, one of the quirkiest people I know, used to work with us at GNCC. He actually figured out, the calendar changes every year. It was something like every 17 years, the calendar is exactly the same. Again, every day of the week is on the exact same date. So that's what we need to figure out, and then we just need to reprint, and that'll be cool. And then you'll get to have your year marked with Ezra Lusk and Ricky Carmichael and Chad Reed and all Kevin Windham and all the stars of 2003, something like that. Anyway, the 2021 calendar, yep, we got it. We'll send it to you. Just subscribe. Go to racerxonline.com/Weege, WEEGE. We'll give you a $25 gift card from Rocky Mountain ATVMC. Buy some cool stuff for Christmas for your bike, and essentially that would make the subscription cost almost nothing, because the subscription costs $30, and we're giving you a calendar and a $25 gift card, and you get the magazine in the mail, and you get access to read everything on the website as well, because we now put all the magazine stories at RacerX Online, but you got to be a subscriber to read all of those. That's it for our show. Happy holidays, everyone. It is Thanksgiving time, and it's cool to crank out 2 podcasts real quick, because who wants to work Thursday and Friday? We've did enough when we had like 2 races a week going on earlier in the year. So thanks to Ryan Villopoto, and thanks to you for listening. Thanks to Yoshimura and MX Tech. See ya.